Alright, so today I'm going to go ahead and focus on how to calculate the surface area in a prism. Now I want to let you know, guys, that sometimes when they say find the surface area, even though it's not being said, they are referring to total. The only time that you're actually going to use the lateral area, like if they say, is when they say find the lateral area. All other times, if they say find surface area, you will be using the total surface area. So again, it's very important, guys. There are formulas for this, okay? So let me, why I put that up again, we have rectangular prisms, okay? But prisms are not just only rectangles. We also have triangular prisms. You can have trapezoidal prisms and all other types of prisms. Okay. Oops. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to find the surface area or the lateral surface area in figures. And for all of these, guys, there's going to be formulas. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just zoom in here on the formulas. Right here where it says surface area. Oops. Like that. Maybe that was a little zoomed in too much. All right, so obviously we're talking about prisms, and again, you see how in prisms the lateral surface area is just perimeter times height, and the total surface area is perimeter times height plus 2b. And as you see on the little screen, right, again, I'm just going to write it here. And instead of S, I'm going to put LA. LA for lateral area is perimeter times height, whereas surface area, aka the total, is pH, but pH really is just LA. So for now, I'm just going to put LA here so you guys could see, plus 2b. The most important thing here is understanding what the variables represent. Again, the letter P stands for perimeter. And it is the perimeter of your base. The letter H stands for the height of the prism. And B, from the last lessons, right? B is area of the base. Go ahead and put that in red. Big B, capital B is area of base. This is not to be confused with just the side of the base when we're doing area. So it's going to be very important you realize that. All right, so now when this is a rectangular prism, all you have to do is just pick a face, right? Pick two faces and let them be the ones that are parallel and congruent. So I'm using these. I'm going to let those be my bases. So in my base, I know that this is 3 and this is 4. This is 3 and this is 4. The perimeter of my base is 3 plus 3 and 4 plus 4. 3 plus 3 and 4 plus 4. So that gives me 6 plus 8, which is 12. I mean 14. Okay. Again, the height, the overall height of the prism is the distance between the two of them. So the height is 10. Big B is not 4. Okay, please do not confuse that. Big B stands for area of the base. My base was a rectangle. So big B in this case is the area here, and it's just 3 times 4, which is 12. I'm not going to practice a lot the lateral area, but mostly because as I am solving for my surface area, I am solving it down the road. So you're going to see how the lateral area of a prism is just the perimeter times the height. And this is just, if you ask me, a faster way of approaching it. Instead of finding the area of each rectangle, if we just find the area of the perimeter, if we just find the perimeter and multiply by the height, we're going to get everything. Okay, so just imagine it. Imagine. You need to be able to imagine it. Say, I had these snacks of mine, and they were covered, right, by something. If I was to find the perimeter, these rectangles would just, the perimeter here would end up being the base of the rectangle. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Here's another way you could think of it, guys. Prisms, rectangular prisms. Okay, so again here, again, it just depends what they're using as the base, but just from looking at it, let's put play here really quick. They made our base to be that rectangle in the bottom, okay? So you could see how if we just find the perimeter here, if we just find this perimeter and just multiply by the height, you essentially get this, and that. All right, so again, my lateral area is just my perimeter times my height. In this case, it's 140. Big B was 12, so I wanted to find my total surface area. My surface area would be 140 plus 2B. And the reason there's 2B is because there's 2 bases. So 2 times 12. 140 plus 2 times 12. So that's 164. And the total surface area is 164. In a prism, as long as it has rectangles connecting your bases, it will be considered a prism. So here we have a triangular prism. It has triangular bases. Your bases will be parallel and congruent. So that's 5. We know that that's, this is 5 and this is 5. So our base is a triangular base. It's going to be very important that you know that your base is triangular. We know the sides are 5s and 8s. And at some point, we're going to have to find the perimeter and the area of this triangle. So let's go ahead and do that. Right away, we could easily find the perimeter. 5 plus 5 plus 8, that's 18. Now I need to find the area of this triangle. Remember from previous lessons that area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Do not confuse the height of the prism with the height of the triangle. Here we need to, it's an isosceles triangle, so you're going to have to draw your own little height. And right now this line right here bisected my base, so I know that this is 4. So I'm looking for my height, I have to do Pythagorean theorem. So I do Pythagorean theorem, 5 squared minus 4 squared. Again, go back and look at the video on using Pythagorean theorem or finding the area of the triangle if you don't understand how I went and got that. And so this is 3. So I know that my height of my triangle is 3. So when I'm solving for the area of the triangle, it's going to be 8 times 3 divided by 2. And so the area of the triangle is 24 divided by 2, which is 12. Now, since big B stands for area of the base, my area of the base is 12. So it's a little weird on how they use, different letters to represent the same thing, but just know that, right? Big B is area, and so area is 12 in this case. Now the overall height in this figure is the distance between the two bases. So my height of the prism is just 10. So if I want to calculate the total surface area, I'm going to go ahead and use the formula. And it's the same formula. As long as it's a prism, it's the same formula. Surface area is equal to my lateral area, which is P times H, plus 2B. Well, I already know that P is 18. I know that the height, be careful here, this height uses the 10, the height of the prism, plus 2B, and B was 12. So 18 times 10 plus 2 times 12. So the total surface area here is of 204. Units squared, of course. And again, I'm just going to indicate here that this is the height of prism. That's the height of the figure, of the base. Okay, here goes another example for you guys. Alright, so this, again, if we look at it and we identify the base, our base is a trapezoid. And on our base, we know that this is 10, this is 2, and this is 4. I want to remind you again that the reason I know this is because our bases are parallel and congruent. I know the 10 is over here, all the way over there, but since these two shapes are the same, that's also 10 right there. So we're going to go ahead and have to again calculate the perimeter. We're going to have to go ahead and calculate the area. We have enough information to calculate the area, but we don't have enough information to calculate the perimeter. Because for the perimeter, we also need to know what this side is. So we're going to go ahead and extend this line over here. We know this is 2. If this is 4, and you would expect this to be 4, making the remaining piece to be 6. Because 4 plus 6 will give me the 10. And so now I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem one more time here. just to find out what this piece is. I'm going to go ahead and add 6 squared plus 2 squared. Six squared plus 2 squared. And so I find out that that little piece right there is 6.3. So again, now I could find the perimeter. My perimeter is just the 2 plus the 4 plus the 6.3 plus 10. The perimeter of my base is 22.3. The area of my base, well, remember that area can be calculated since it's a trapezoid as b1 plus b2 times the height divided by 2. Our bases are 4 and 10. Our height is 2. So it's 4 plus 10, which is 14. 14 times 2 divided by 2, and it's just 14. And it comes in handy if you recognize some patterns here, like these 2's cancel out. That's why it's just 14. So the area of the trapezoid is 14. But remember that big B stands for area, so this is just 14. The overall height of my prism is 15. So as I'm solving for my total surface area, it's my perimeter times my height. Again, I use the same formula. Perimeter times height plus 2b. Again, I'm putting the lateral surface area in blue just to distinguish it throughout. So this would be, my perimeter is 22.3. Again, this h is the height of the prism plus 2 times b, 2 times 14. At this point, I'm just substituting. So 22.3 times 15 plus 2 times 14. And so the surface area is 362.5. If for some reason, guys, they were asking for the lateral surface area only, keep in mind it would just be this part. So 22.3 times 15. Okay. My lateral area would only be 334.5. So again, just depending on what they're asking for, just make sure you know what the difference is. I'm going to go ahead and skip this problem over here, but it's basically the same thing, guys. To find the surface area, the first thing you want to do is, again, we want to identify the base. It's the first thing you want to do. Okay. Once you do that, the next thing you want to do is you want to find the perimeter, and oops, it does not look like enough. You also want to find the area. Don't forget about the overall height. If you know those things, guys, if you could find those little things, you just substitute and you're done. The formula is the same, pH plus 2b. So again, in this problem right here, I'm just asking you guys to find the lateral surface area. And according to our formula, the lateral surface area of a prism is just pH. So as you're working on this, make sure you're using this formula sheet. This formula sheet, again, you can find it on Teams under Files. All right, so anyways, My bases are pentagons. So in my pentagon, and they're regular pentagons, every single side is 10. So right off the bat, I know that the perimeter is 50. The overall height is 12. And so my lateral area is just 50 times 12. Which is 600. Again, guys, if you really understood how to work out the areas, finding the areas of basic shapes, finding the areas of composite, this part should be easier because, honestly, all it is just substitution, and from there it's just algebra, guys. Okay.